All right. Good morning, folks. I'm Mr. Barrera. And week 2, we're going to do parallelograms. And we're going to go over the properties and do a couple problems for you. All right. So the first problem talks about parallelograms. Just the properties. So if we got a shape right here, what it's saying when opposite sides are parallel is that this side, the top and the bottom, are parallel. And the two sides are parallel to each other. So top and bottom, left and right. Opposite sides are congruent. It means the length of this side is the same as the length of this side. So we put tick marks. And then the length of the left side and the length of the right side are congruent. And then it talks about opposite angles are congruent. So these are opposite. So these two angles are congruent. And then these two angles are congruent. And then it says consecutive interior, same side. So basically meaning that this angle plus this angle adds up to 180. And similarly, this angle and plus this angle adds up to 180. Then we talked about the diagonals. So when you have the diagonals, all these properties are still true. Opposite sides are parallel and congruent. Now you have, the diagonals are like transversals. So this angle is congruent to this angle. This top angle is congruent to this bottom angle, alternate interior angles. And we're going to use a different symbol. Sorry about that. Now we're going to have a different symbol. This angle is congruent to this angle. And then this angle is congruent to this angle. So those are alternate interior angles are congruent. And then lastly, the diagonals bisect each other. So that diagonal, this diagonal is cut in half. That's the midpoint. So this half and this half are congruent. And then on this diagonal, this section and this section, these two halves are congruent. All right, so those are the properties of parallelograms. So the first problem right here that we want to do, get that stuff out of the way. It says find the measure of the missing angles given parallelogram ABCD. So here is ABCD. I just don't want to write on my document here. And this is 62 degrees. And so it wants us to find the measurement of the other angles. So we know that the opposite angles are congruent. So this is 62, this is 62 degrees. Angle B is 62 degrees. And then we know that these two angles are congruent, and angle B and angle C are supplementary. So we can get 180 minus 62 is going to be 118 degrees. So angle C is 118, and across from it that's 118. All right. So that's typical numeric type problems. Now number 2, covering it up here. Go right now. Find the measure of x, y, z. So here is our parallelogram, x, y, z, w. And this angle right here, x is 4x plus 23. And this angle is 7x plus 14. X, y, z is this angle. Look at the middle letter. All right, so what we're going to do, and we know that these are on the same side. So if you go like this, the same side angles are congruent. That means they are not congruent, supplementary. So these add up to 180. So 4x plus 23 plus 7x plus 14 equals to 180. There's your equation. Now you combine like terms. You got 11x. 23 and 14 is 37 equals to 180. subtract 37, and that gives us 143 equals to 411x. Divide that by 11, and 143 divided by 11, 13. Now, most kids typically stop right there, but you got to look at the question. It wants, what is angle Y? So we got two ways we can do it. We can put it into this expression, subtract it from 180 to get this, or Y and Z are congruent. So if we plug it into 13 into here, whatever this answer is, angle Y will be the same. So measurement angle XYZ will be 7 times 13 plus 14, and 7 times 13 plus 14 is 105. Alrighty, so that's how you do a couple of those problems. And go ahead and look through problems number 3 and problem number 4. And if you got any questions on those, it has a work laid out right here for you. Other than that, you should be able to knock out today's problems, which are day 1. This is going to be LIP 4, week 2, day 1 assignment will be posted on Google Classroom. All right, guys, have fun.